What's up, nail geeks, and welcome to another spooky good video. This time I have Cadillacquer's Halloween collection to share with you all. I have been sitting on these swatches for a little bit and I am very geeked to show them all to you because Cadillacquer does these types of spooky vampy shades so very good, and they are just fantastic. So the pre-order is currently going on right now through various shops. I will talk about that at the recap and how to get your paws on these at the end of the video. But for right now, let's dive into the swatches. We're going to start off this monster mash with You Don't Feel the Air Flexing. This is described as a light bluish gray crelly with pink iridescent flakes. We have a milky type of formula going on here, and it's got that traditional plumping type of crelly feel. Now, because it has a touch of a heavier type of formula to it, I chose to go in really thin on my coats. The flakies are of the chunkier variety, so just let them lay down on your nails. Don't overwork it. Go up to, again, super thin coats on this one, just to make sure everything's nice and even. I did use a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to seal this one up. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep is described as a deep purple curly base with red to pink shimmer and matte neon green glitter. This one is one of my top picks in the set. I so adore just overall finish that has contrast upon contrast to it. It's just very fun, and I think it evokes like the best Halloween spirit when we're talking purples and midnight blues and greens. I'm going to suggest 2, possibly 3 very, very thin coats on this. The glitters are of the heavier variety going on here too, so make sure you're not overworking it. And again, make sure you're going in super thin. That way everything's nice and even. We have a very, very true jelly finish, and we want that base color to be even across our nails. So I went in just a touch sloppy on that third coat, but I wanted to make sure that those glitters were evenly dispersed. No issues with fishing or anything like that. Everything was perfectly suspended in the bottle, but I did, as you saw, manipulate the glitters to make it a more even appearance. You will need a glitter smoothing top coat and glossy top coat. The World is More Interesting with You in It is described as a milky white base with orange and purple metallic glitter. This is another very milky finish, but to me, it had just the tiniest bit more of a cream lean to it as opposed to You Don't Feel the Air Flexing, that first one. I'm going to suggest 3 really thin coats here too. You could probably get away with 2 normal coats if you're rocking shorties or less wide or monstrosity of nails as yours truly. But again, you will need a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat for this one too, because we do have some texture and thirstiness from those glitters. This one is really pretty, and I would describe that base color as being more of a cool toned, almost very, very pale gray. And here is my next top pick in the set. This one is It's the Normal People That Scare Me. This is a dusty olive green with intense turquoise to blue shimmer. This is overall really interesting. I love polishes like this where you think it's going to look a certain way on the first and possibly second coat, but then when you go in and hit that full banging opacity on the third coat, it just lights up. This will start off on the very light side. So as you can see on the first and second coat, you could see through my falsies, or rather you can see through that false free edge. And on the third coat, we have excellent opacity going here. This has almost a velvety looking appearance to it when you finish it off, and it's just really glowy overall. I don't feel like I see this specific color a whole lot. I'm also going to suggest a good glossy top coat because this did dry down quite flat. We Are the Ones Who Dwell Within is described as a light blue magnetic in a dark red base with red to orange to yellow iridescent flakes. This is another one that I really enjoyed. It's got, again, this contrast flaky mix in with that deep dark base. Now, interesting enough, when you don't magnetize it, I actually think it looks pretty cool. It looks like a chrome type finish with, those contrasting flakes that have that nice warm type of shift to them. This also has a pretty heavy formula to it, but no issues here, no issues with those flakes. Everything laid down nice and flat, and no issues in terms of fishing or anything. Cadillacquer makes excellent polishes, so that should not surprise any of us. Now, if you choose to magnetize this polish like yours truly and you use the Magic Magnetic Top Coat, or if you do it normally and you magnetize each of your individual layers, I thought the pigment snapped to very well with the magnet and I had no issues with that. Now, please note, those flakes did give me some texture. So I used a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to seal this up. Please note, if you do that, you will need to, just for a couple extra seconds, hover that magnet over both glitter smoothing layer and glossy top coat layer. Want to see a magic trick? Is my third pick in this set. This is a blackened blue base packed with purple to red shimmer. I know, I said one of my top picks is a purple, and I know that's shocking because it's rare that I say it, but when I do, it's always super magical. This is very much like that teal that we saw just a moment ago, where it's soft in how it starts off, but it packs a punch for opacity when you take it nice and slow and let it build up. I'm going to strongly suggest 3 light coats to plump this up. If you tend to polish on the heavier handed side, you might want to stop at 2 coats because you don't want to have over buildup. So again, nice and slow and steady. This is so vampy, but very glowy. I could see in dimmed lighting situations, this might take on an almost black appearance, but in shaded lighting or brighter lights, you're going to see what you see on my macro shot there with this almost duochrome color shift. Talk to Me, I have to say, is probably my fourth pick for this set. This set is just so lovely. Talk to Me is described as a dark teal base with red to copper to gold, ultra chrome chameleon flakes, hollow flakies, and purple reflective glitter. And I mostly say that because, not just because this base color itself is more of a midnight blue. I think this one is just a glitter bomb, and that's always going to be one of my favorite types of finishes. This is ridiculously sparkly, and there is no skimping to all those beautiful multi-chrome flakes and reflective glitters. I went in for 3 super light coats here too. You don't want to overbuild this because it's got that satisfying jelly look when you go in real even and light and let it slowly build up. I did finish with a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat. And then lastly, we've got Oh Yes, There Will Be Blood. This is a deeper red jelly base with matte black glitter and red metallic glitter. Another beautiful jelly type of finish. This also will give you that super squishy, satisfying jello-like appearance when you build it up to, I want to say, like pseudo opacity. I think you'll have really good coverage if you take it up to 3 thin coats. But if you have a super prominent free edge, you might see the tiniest bit of a peekaboo smile line in super bright lights. But of course, this is a true jelly. And again, be mindful of your brush strokes. Just go in soft, and you'll want to kind of overwork the glitters because they felt a touch heavier to me, and manipulate them to get them nice and even on your nails. That way you have even distribution of color on all of your fingers. I will also suggest, once again, y'all know the drill here, a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to give you that jello look to your nails. And we're going to wrap this up with the Will It Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have layering capabilities. So this is one of those videos where I'm going to have my negative pants on, and I'm going to be a bit of a negative person about toppering any of these. And that's just because I think these are beautiful by themselves. I think if you wanted to, and you like really just wanted to kind of push boundaries a little bit, I would stick with probably black, and for the milkier ones, maybe white only. I don't think you're doing any of these justice by layering them. I think they're magic on their own, and their respective bases are incredibly tinted. So I personally would not. I did not care for any of these layered. They are perfect just the way they are. Now that magnetic one, maybe, I think, but it looks more contrasting and stark of a difference when it is worn on its own. And then Talk to Me, okay, maybe, but that base color is so beautiful on its own. You're not doing it justice. Again, dehorning a unicorn. Same thing with the red. That red is delightfully almost like bloody looking. So I don't know your preference on that, but I personally wouldn't recommend it. So the pre-order is going on now until September 15th. through Hypnotic Polish, Nail Land, Color for Nails, What's Up Nails, and Nail Stuff. I'm going to link you all below in the description box to each stockist and their respective links. And please note that if the pre-order ends, a lot of times stockists may have extra inventory up on the site. So if you're not able to get it immediately through the stockist, I'm pretty damn sure you'll be able to get your paws on them even after the pre-order closes. Usually that's typically what happens. So if you did not know, I did not know that Cadillacquer exclusively sells through these stockists. That's really nice in terms of shipping. You don't have to wait for anything like that in terms of like paying extra shipping outside of the country. All that information will be in the description box below. I will also link you to Cadillacquer's Facebook group if you have not joined that. And I will have timestamps if you need to go back for anything in the description box. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.